Cheers for tuning in again and welcome to our video for round 7 of the Inkart Championships. As you can see from the cover photo, Oscar's took some silverware from this round. Is that for a P1, P2, P3, A final, B final, or for this round a C final? So the format's slightly different. A lot more karters have joined in for this race than normal. It's meant that one of the championship leaders, Alfie Cowles, has missed out on being able to sign up for this round. So my advice going forwards for anybody who's looking to do a championship season is purchase all the rounds up front. Don't leave it until shortly before each round to make the payment, because your position's always under threat. So we're going to start off here with a practice session. That will then go straight into a Heat 1. There'll also be a Heat 2 followed by an A or a B final later, or if we end up in the B final and win that, a B then an A final.
What, 52 bad?
Well, 51, 52, 53, 55 are all rubbish, yeah. So,
Yeah, but is 52
Yeah.
worse than 50 bad?
I don't know. I don't think so. We'll see.
Well, they'll not do it then.
You've got a practice session, right? Yes, if you think the kart that you're in is crap, bring it in. B52's replacement, I don't know. I really don't know. I'll be up the track, so I don't know what number you're in by the time you get up there, okay? Alright, I'll see you in a minute. Okay.
What happened?
Basically, I was going round, it's on the outside, he looked over, saw me, and he's just turning into me, he's cutting back.
Whole numbers okay. Will Jenkinson 51, Ruben Pye 82, Harry Kennedy 61, Eugene 53, Oscar Mallet 68, JJ Fennigan 55.
So these are the 5 fastest karts throughout this entire round, and we've drew kart number 68. Previously you'd have expected it to easily beat 55, but for some reason this round it's completely off the pace. So here we're losing just over 2 seconds to kart 61 and around 2 seconds a lap to kart 82. We're starting practice in P4 with Eugene Fishlock ahead of us in P3, so we're expecting to finish P3. Right, we've got 2 karts that just gone into the barrier as soon as it started raining. 58 is one of them that Oscar was going to be in, and then the one who was in 55 at the back. So in the previous heat, kart 58 was written off and retired completely from the event. At the time it was looking likely that it was going to finish in around P4 or P5, and potentially Oscar was going to end up starting in that kart. Sadly that wasn't the case, as you can see, and Oscar's drawn a very slow kart 68. Okay, I'll be honest, I think Grandad was looking out the window then. And that was all of the action in the practice session. We didn't even catch a cadet. So I'm going to speed this up a bit, add a bit of music to make it interesting. Enjoy! Strangely enough, although it was struggling in this round for the practice, Kart 61 soon picked back up and went on to, as always, be the fastest kart of the day. P3 in practice, as expected, and 2 seconds roughly off both Ruben and Harry in kart 82 and 61. About 20 minutes before Heat 1 went out, the skies opened up, as you can see on screen now. And we think that's definitely left the track a little bit damp for this race, so that's why the times here are down. We would expect Oscar in kart 68 to be getting into the 103 mark, and we'd be expecting to see Ruben get into the 102 mark in kart 82. Just keep an eye on the straight line advantage of kart 61 with Harry Kennedy ahead. Despite being far superior in the corners and having to relentlessly close up the gap, there's nothing Oscar can do to hold pace with this kart. If Oscar wasn't superior on the cornering, kart 61 would now be out of sight.
Went deep. Is that him?
Yeah. Right, it just says 8 minutes at the minute. We'll see if that comes up. Otherwise, I'll appeal that. 3 minutes into the race. William Jenkins.
That should come up, no contact.
Nothing yet.
Get down there.
You can understand from our position why we thought it was a foul. It did look like William pushed Oscar wide and went up the inside. But what really happened was Oscar forgot he was in a race. He genuinely thought he was in a qualifying session. He needs a bang on the head for that. So apologies to William. We're not too sure here what the issue was with kart 61 and why Harry come to a stop on the side of the track. The kart, however, is still the fastest kart in the fleet, as you're about to see. Must feel slow. She might then have to put 100.
51's gone past him. He's come to the battery now, so he can get
1 minute, it says on the board. Yeah. So. This is where we'll catch Oscar now down the straight.
Look the back straight.
Look at that. Defend you inside, Oscar. That extra speed at 61's got it stupid. And Oscar's got to make it back throughout the rest of the track. He's forced him out wide, yeah. Nothing you can do with that speed of 61. Now Oscar's got to make it up on all the bends with better lines, etc. and watch him go again when we go down the straight. The same all season. So I think Oscar's hand signal there says everything that needs to be said about that race. Again, the finishing order is in order of the fastest karts. Kart 61 is essentially faster than Kart 82, which Ruben's won in, but there are some issues with Kart 61 at the moment. There's no way Harry Kennedy just chose to pull over on the left of the track and let Oscar pass. So it's finished as you'd expect. Kart 68 just didn't have enough in it to compete with Kart 61, although the lap times here look very similar on average, a 104.3 for each driver. The difference there was Oscar was making up the pace on the bends and the turns, whereas Harry was making up the time on the straights, and it was just a repetitive process lap after lap. I skipped out 5 laps at one point, and it was just like watching a mirror image of the lap before and the lap before and the lap before.
was really bad.
Got pushed out twice, yeah? What's that?
Beetle.
Are you splattered a beetle?
Beetlejuice.
Ah, Beetlejuice.
Don't say it 3 times.
Did you see me
I would
reaching
have-
for my pocket down there?
Was I what?
Did you see me reaching for my pocket down there? I got
To what
the
juice
I tried
off?
to put it back on the seat, but I think it's too hard.
Was it stuck on your thing then? Oh, nice.
Yeah, the speed 61 had on you down here was just insane. The way it caught up with you.
Yeah.
It made about 20 feet on you down that straight.
Second.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been able to hold him off.
You did well though. I didn't expect you to be in kart 68.
Yeah, you did really well.
At least you had a reasonable cart this time.
Makes a change, doesn't it?
Competitive cart, put it that way.
Not competitive with 81, 61 and 82, but
Almost.
You know when I let William pass?
you let him past.
Yeah, I thought we were on qualifying, I forgot. Then I remembered, I was like, oh, cool. Then I got past him.
Oh, I thought he pushed you wide. It looked like he bumped you wide. So
No,
you
I
let him.
forgot, I thought we were in qualifying.
Oh, you let him past.
Yeah.
Oh, we thought you'd been pushed wide.
You thought it was a practice.
It looked like
No,
you
I
got.
thought it was quali. I was like, oh, it's not around there, so I was going on the corner.
No, it was a race. That was.
What, on that corner down there?
No,
Over
Yeah,
there?
yeah, I let him pass because I thought we were on qualifying, I forgot.
He's only gone and let William Jenkinson past him in the race, hasn't he? Thinking he was in a qualifying lap. It's now going to prove absolutely vital that we repeat what we've just done and take an early lead in this race. We need to build up a big gap at the front. If not, we're going to come under pretty immense pressure from kart 82, which is starting at the back of the grid in P6, which is James Stevenson. So it's important now we take an early lead, repeat what we've done in the first race and build up a huge gap that can hopefully protect us till the end of the race. There you go, that's what I said, stick to the left there and then cut in on the right, he's done it.
Done it again,
Is he first now?
Yeah.
So we're back underway in what is going to be a slightly shortened heat due to the red flag and then the course.
Good, less time for 61 and 82 at the back to try and challenge Oscar.
For all drivers for heat number 6, you can make your way down to the pit gate. All drivers for heat number 6, you can make your way down to the pit gate. And just pass that down.
About here, I was beginning to relax.
He's actually got a bigger lead this time, I think. This is also a big reason why we needed to break away from the pack and not get into battles with less experienced karters that have turned up today. It appears here in the fastest kart, 61, that Seamus Soon has spun Athena out, and that could cost her heavily in this championship round.
Oh, one's gone into cross.
And that's
Athena's
Athena. And 61's gone.
Yeah.
Keep going, dude. It's got a massive lead. 6 minutes. 6 minutes left.
No, because she's off the track, it don't really matter.
Kart 82 there in the white helmet is just about to move into P2, and look how fast he goes past the guy in green. It's like he's in a D-Max. Here he comes. And that's ridiculous. So let's jump into the kart now with Oscar. He currently has a 4.5 second lead. Let's see how long that can last for.
Taken 82 off.
They have.
Yeah, but they haven't taken 61 off. 61's starting at the back of the grid. So whoever's lucky enough to get that, it might just fly through the pack.
You're with that. I've got 68.
You're starting in front of me.
We'll see. You in P3? Yeah.
You want to work together? Get through the pack?
Oh, definitely, yeah. I think you two should be the 1 and 2 in this race. So if you can work together with each other, yeah, and just run away from everybody. And then battle it out over the last couple of laps once you've got a good lead, yeah.
Oscar Mallet 68, Athena Kidd, you're 53, Athena Kidd 55, Freddie Collier 51.
There you go. That's what I said. Stick to the left there and then cut in on the right. He's done it.
Done it again,
Is he first now?
Yeah.
So we're back underway in what is going to be a slightly shortened heat due to the red flag and then the course.
Good. Less time for 61 and 82 at the back to try and challenge Oscar.
There are all drivers for heat number 6. You make your way down to the pit gate. All drivers for heat number 6. You make your way down to the pit gate.
About here, I was beginning to relax.
He's actually got a bigger lead this time, I think.
Oh, one's gone into cross.
And that's
Athena's
Athena. And 61's gone.
Yeah.
Keep going, dude. It's got a massive lead. 6 minutes. 6 minutes left. Kart 82 now has come from near the back, one of the back two. That's why I said a shorter race is better for Oscar here, because that one will lead into his lead now. It doesn't matter how well he karts. Yeah, he knows. You should do. We've got 4 minutes left. So coming up now is a prime example of why kart selection is so important in this series. Ahead of us is Seema Soon, who is currently in last place in this race, yet he's in kart 61, which is the fastest in the fleet. So as you can see, Oscar's making up the spaces on him on the bends, but as soon as we come around this hairpin now, you watch him just accelerate off and out of sight, and there is absolutely nothing you can do about it. And it's the reason why this series is simply dictated by kart selection and not by driver talent. So had we had any sort of luck this season with good karts in the A finals, I'm sure we'd be up there fighting for the top 3 podium spots in the championships. So now we need to rely on our cornering again to catch him and try and pass him. Come on Oscar, you gotta get past him. He's massively slowing Oscar down.
Yeah, I know.
Got him.
Oh, good.
that's it. This is the last lap coming up. So we did it just about. I think if there was one more lap left there, Oscar was in trouble. And it's the reason I said at the beginning of this race that it's so important Oscar builds up a huge lead, because we just knew that once kart 82 broke free of the karters behind Oscar and worked his way through the pack, that he was just going to close down Oscar lap after lap after lap. Oscar's cornering, if I'm honest, I think is the reason why he wasn't caught up with any sooner, which has probably saved him P1 for this race. But that was a vital win in terms of making the A final. We had to win this round, so now we've just got to wait to see what the scores say. Slower kart as well.
Yeah.
Nice
Hold
one.
it.
Nice
Brilliant,
one.
yeah.
Nice to see you
You're
coming
losing
first for the change.
0.6. You're losing 0.6 a lap to him behind you.
Yeah, he was
Yeah,
catching you.
yeah.
Hold on, mate. He's catching you fast.
Hopefully then a P1 and a P3 should be the A final. Hopefully. But unfortunately it wasn't going to be the A final for Oscar. Most of the karters that made it to the A final all had the same points. So it came down to a fastest lap, and Oscar didn't get the fastest karts, so he's starting P1 in the B final.
First one, and then on the restart he did exactly the same
Yeah.
thing.
Brilliant,
Took
yeah.
10 seconds
Aiden's
back.
got 55.
Is that a bad one or what?
That's the one I've seen. So Jaden's in it.
You have 68.
Because on the people out there, Athena and Oscar should have run away with that.
Yeah.
What
You know,
happened to her?
both starts, she come down the straight and lost about 2 or 3 spots on both starts. The acceleration on 55 was awful. If you watch Ruben in the heat before that in 55, on the way down the straight he was still last position, P4 in his heat. He was still fourth.
He's cornering.
Yeah, it's the cornering that you need on with kart 55.
Yeah.
So does that mean we're going to get 55 in the final?
Probably.
It's better than 53, 51. We're at 52, yeah. We'll see. Fingers crossed. There you go. Happy Father's Day.
I don't know, I don't thinking about it. Is it a unicorn?
It's got a nice base on it as well.
I'll get back into
So this is the order that karts come in from the B-C final. Oscar starts in P1, so he should be in kart 82, which today is the fastest, followed by 61. So let's look at the road to the A final. As being as 5 people made it, and Oscar finished in P6 on the points from the first 2 heats. So P1 in the A final is Ruben Potter. He had a P1 finish in Heat 1 with kart 82 and a P2 finish in Heat 2 with kart 55. It was Harry Kennedy in kart 68 in the second heat who managed to hold off Ruben Potter. So starting P2 in the A final is James Stevenson. He had kart 61 in Heat 1 and finished P1. He had kart 82 in Heat 2 and finished P2. Then in third place we got Harry Kennedy. He had kart 61 in Heat 1 and finished P2. And he had kart 68 in Heat 2 and finished P1. We then have Jaden Steetham starting P4. He had kart 82 and finished P1 in the first heat. And he had kart 55 and finished P2 in the second heat. And making up the back of the grid is Thomas Hedges in P5. He had kart 51 in Heat 1 and finished P2, which was actually a very weak heat, hence kart 51 doing so well. And then in Heat 2 he had kart 82 and finished P1. As you've seen in our first heat, there was nothing we could do about kart 82, which was 1.4 seconds a lap faster than us. And Harry Kennedy in kart 61 ahead of us, there was nothing we could do as he just pulled away on the straights, and ultimately that's what's cost us a position in the A final. Now all 5 of those drivers scored a P1 and a P2, which means they all go through to the A final with the same scores, and it was then down to the fastest lap times who was to take P1, 2, 3 and so on. Of course, Oscar had kart 68 in both heats 1 and 2, he finished P1 and P3, so he just misses out on the A final, even though the karts he had were pretty much 4th fastest of the day today. So we're now going into the B final, starting P1 in the best kart of the fleet for this round, 82. And if we win this race, then looking back to round 1 in January, as the winner of the B final that day, Ruben, kept his kart for the A final, we should also be keeping kart 82 for the A final. That puts us in a position where we should at least be on a podium and fighting for first place with Ruben. The lap times, then I think Ruben's leading, he's had a 62 something, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 4 of them that come first and second over the 2 heats.
Yeah.
That's just absolutely flying, that is.
Wait, no! They're going to put a cart at the front.
Are they?
We've got an extra driver, they're going to put a cart at the front.
They put them at the back now, tend to.
What we need to avoid is 51, 52 and 53. It's all over if he gets one of them. It's done. It's finished.
You want
82,
62,
61. 55 won't compete with 82 and 61. So
But
you
it's
need.
still a good mid-level cart.
Yeah, but your people that you're with, you've got Noah in P3, William Jenkinson, and if one of them get 80, 82 or 61, they'll win it.
5 spawn.
No, wait, that's good. I need Eugene to get the spot. And you've just guaranteed yourself the best kart on the grid.
Well, 82's won it, but if we don't know. He was supposed to have gone out in P5 in the first heat, according to the sheet. He went out in
So
P4.
you're in P1, are you?
Yeah, in the
So,
B.
so you should get 82. And Athena, where are you? So I mean P2. So you should get 68. Is that what you wanted?
So you have all probably just seen the end of that race is
See you on the other side, okay?
Alex taking the win. However, penalty for a take out on that lap. So that is the ABC.
This just made it interesting.
3. There has also been another penalty applied again on kart 61, ABC bump and pass. Position plus 1. So that's an ABC plus 1 position penalty for kart 61.
Eugene Fishlock come P2 in that, he took it on the last lap.
So that's our C final complete.
Yeah.
It is Alex who will be moving up into the B final. So
Eugene did.
From him. He'll be starting at the back of the grid.
An advantage for contact.
Juniors for this race to start for the B final. So that is B final is up
So we
next.
finished 82-61. So if they put a different car at the front and you got 82 and 61 behind you, I'm not going to be happy. Fingers crossed, that's all we can do, isn't it?
Yeah. Good luck. Thank you.
Well, 61's coming first, look Eugene.
Yeah, but if you look, 82 just won.
Oh yeah. So this is the order that karts come in from the beef.
C final. Oscar starts in P1, so he should be in kart 82, which today is the fastest, followed by 61.
Alright guys, let's help you name the numbers, okay? Right. Oscar Mallet 82, Athena Cooper 61, Noah Johnson 55, Will Jenkins 68.
Absolutely epic. Okay, it's not quite the A final, it's a B. But we've got the very first top 4 kart in any of the finals we've been involved in. So in the previous 6 rounds, we've been involved in 7 finals, including the B finals. And we've never had a top 4 kart. So this is a first for Oscar. So can he win it and prove that given a fairer selection of the karts in the A finals, that he'd be higher up in the championships now? Well, we've survived 1 lap, but Athena is literally about to glue herself to our bumper now down this straight. This is tense stuff. It's already starting to look like a 2-way race between us in 82 and Athena in 61. We've put a bit of a gap between ourselves and Athena now over the second half of lap 1. Now that she can't quite hold on to our slipstream and keep on our rear bumper here, let's see if we can extend that gap further. We've not quite lost her yet, and there's still 10 minutes of this to go. As you can see ahead, the cadets have joined us for the final races, so we've got to be extremely careful now. One bump with one of those and we could get ourselves a penalty. If we slow down too much behind them, Athena's going to be all over the back of us. We've got to be quick, clean and precise here. As you can see now on the small screen down there, I think we're beginning to build up a bigger gap over Athena. I think Oscar was probably already confident he got this in the bag, but watching on from the sidelines, myself and his grandparents, I think we're starting to relax a little bit more now. As long as he keeps this clean, it's his race. there's 4 minutes left now. Dude, hold tight. As long as it doesn't spin out now, yeah?
That's what I just said to Dad, as long as he... Yeah.
Just take his time now.
Last lap now.
I'm just curious what his lap times are. If he's got 62 or not. So he'll be starting the back of the A final in kart 51, 52 or 53. I'm saying it now. So as you can hear, I was definitely not expecting them to give Oscar kart 82 for the A final. Absolutely no chance. He'll be starting from the back, but I really can't see them repeating what they did in round 1 when they gave Ruben, the winner of the B final, the same kart to competing in the A final, which was the fastest kart of that round as well. But we'll see. So there's a bit more to analyse here than normal. As you'll see at the very top, Oscar's set the fastest lap so far of today in kart 82. The other racers that have also had kart 82 up until now are Ruben, Jaden Stephen, James Stevenson and Thomas Hedges, so that's definitely no mean feat by Oscar to take the fastest lap. And if you look at the lap times on the left there, you'll see that other than lap 1 when they had to accelerate away from the start line, of the other 13 laps, Oscar has managed to get into the 62 second zone in 8 of them, showing excellent consistency. And we've got to remember that kart 61 isn't out of it completely, it's still setting extremely fast times, it's just had a few issues where it's lost power. So this is an excellent win for Oscar, it promotes him to the back of the A final, but will he get to keep kart 82? We'll get to see in a minute. Well, I've done some number crunching, and there are 4 karts, as I'm pretty sure everybody is aware of, such as Athena mentioned earlier in the video, that are faster than the rest of the fleet. Those being 58, 61, 68 and 82. Now of course not all 4 of them have been present in every single A final throughout the season, but there's usually been at least 2 per A final, sometimes 3, sometimes 4. So I've done some number crunching. I've worked out how many A finals each racer has been in, all the ones that have made the A finals, and I've worked out how many times each of those racers has received one of them top 4 karts. I won't reveal this just yet, I'll reveal this at the end of the season after I've done the video for round 8. But at the moment it's looking pretty similar lineup to how the championship standings are in terms of who's got luckiest with the best kart selection throughout the season. Just curious now if, like in round 1, they're going to let Oscar stay in the kart that he won the B final in, as they did with Ruben in round 1.
It's not going to be really bad, okay? Hey, they're the final drivers. You never know with them, okay? And that's like a usual time, okay?
I just want to see if they're going to do the same in this round as they did in round 1. Well, in round 1, Ruben won the B final with the kart that Oscar had all day, and they told that Ruben to stay out in that kart, so Oscar had a different kart for the A final.
Yeah, so obviously you're in the A final. Harvey will give you your kart, okay?
Got that car?
Have fun. Go ahead.
No, they've made him get out of the car. They're doing it differently, so they did it in round 1 then. Surely as Ruben had stayed in the same kart he won the B final in round 1, Oscar should have stayed in the same kart he won the B final in round 7. What are the odds?
Well done, Will. Well done, mate.
So yet again, our chance of competing for a podium spot in the A final has been taken away from us. You can see by Oscar's body language there how upset he is. I believe he genuinely thought going through that race, he had a chance of keeping his kart after the way it happened in round 1. But Daytona are obviously inconsistent in the way they're running the races, and it backfired on Oscar in round 1, losing the fastest kart that he'd had all day to Ruben Potter for the A final. And it's backfired on him again today, losing the fastest kart of the fleet to Ruben Potter for the A final. It is so frustrating. I mean, Oscar, on talent, commitment, the effort that he puts in, the passion he's got for this, he should have a cabinet full of trophies by now. but it's moments like this that have simply took that all away from him. So he's going to go out, no doubt. He'll put on a performance, possibly smash the best time of the day in what you can see is now kart 50 that he'll be racing. And it's more and more experience, but we need the experience to start turning around into something a bit more positive. In the regional finals at the BIKC, for example, back in Liverpool in October, Oscar was given the 3 worst karts of the fleet over 5 races. You couldn't make it up. This was confirmed in the adults event the next day, and it dumped him out of the regionals. He didn't quite make the national finals, finishing P10. So we just need this to end. We understand it's rental karting, you know, and this is just the way it goes, but we just need a stroke of good luck. That's all. A bit of fortune, a bit of fair luck, not specifically good luck. We just want fair luck.
Right, jump up, guys.
Once I've lost your slipstream, you were just gone. That point.
Gonna be in 50, he's already got a seat insert.
Just in time with 55.
50 minutes back.
Huh?
50 minutes back.
Yeah, I know. What? What did you say?
So I'm going to make my prediction right now. In P1 we have Ruben coming out in kart 82. He'll run away with this. He'll have a huge lead come the end of the race. In P2 we have James Stevenson in kart 61. He hasn't got the pace of Ruben, potentially hasn't got the pace of Harry Kennedy either, who's in P3, or Jaden, who's in P4, but he's got kart 61, so he'll still finish in P2. We have Harry Kennedy in P3 coming out in kart 68. He should hold that. We have Jaden in P4 in kart 55. That can't keep up with kart 68 really, so Jaden should stay P4. And we have Thomas Hedges coming out in P5 in kart 53. Now 53 is the worst of this race, so we expect him to drop back to P6. And Oscar is in kart 50, which is the 5th fastest kart of this race, and so we expect him to finish in P5.
recording from upstairs. There we are, still lap 2.
And already just on lap 2, with the karts being in order of the fastest to the slowest, you can see the gap between each one beginning to build up. There is nothing that any of the racers out there can do about this. This is just kart parity on show. Oscar's fastest lap in kart 50 in this race was a 104.4. In the previous race in kart 82 he had a 102.5. That's not down to Oscar's karting. He's not suddenly lost his skill going from that race to this race. It's purely the difference in karts. To be honest with you, I don't really want Oscar to come back to this next season. You know, to put his heart and soul into racing all season, to walk away with far less than what he deserves for his energy and talent. So I would prefer we move on to Mr. Karting. I've said this in a previous video. But we're going to go there tonight as I'm editing this, to be honest. It's now Thursday and we'll find out what Mr. Karting's like. We're going to have our first practice session down there in their final race of the season for the sprint series. And we'll make a decision after that. Oscar does want to come back to this track and do the N35 championships for next season. But should I bring him back, or am I just throwing away hard-earned cash?
Come on Oscar, closing on him. Well, if Jaden's complaining, Oscar can see that. I should fire Oscar up.
Well, Jaden's doing this with his arms.
Yeah, he's got kart 55, which isn't all that good.
He's got a bad kart,
yeah. But it's better than kart 50.
Yeah.
It's kart 50.
Oscar. But at least Oscar's keeping up.
Well, winning the B final, you get a trophy for it, and he also gets an extra race.
Yeah, that's why I'm looking on it, yeah. So it's not a bad morning altogether.
But for him to have the same treatment as Ruben did in round 1 and get the same kart for the A final that he had in the B, would have been nice.
Now that's not me being bitter. I think it's pretty obvious by now. We just want a fair rub of the green. We want everything to be even so that all the racers out there can have a good battle together. Now, I wouldn't mind seeing Oscar come last if it was a competitive series where kart selection wasn't the be-all end-all and Oscar had a bad season, etc. I'd be perfectly fine with that. It's something that we could learn from. But you can't learn and grow from constantly having bad karts.
Do you remember? Yeah. Same again. Oscar, this is just in no man's land again.
You don't need to worry about it. I mean, they're going through this way for this anyway, so.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's alright.
And then we can do the 2 trophies anyway.
Yeah, Ruben's gone. Come on, good. You can catch him now, Oscar. He had a bad turn, Jaden did then. You look at the gap. Jaden had a bad turn here, then he lost some speed. So Oscar's on him now, look.
So let's jump back on board now with Oscar. think it was round 5. Oscar's kart again just won't allow him to catch up with Jade. We'll have a battle. It's frustrating. Interested to compare the lap times. So 82 has dominated today. There's Jaden. A P5 finish then, nothing unusual about that. It's our third P5 of the season. We've also had 2 P4s and a P6. And we've now completed 6 A finals without getting one of the top 4 karts, which is quite unbelievable really. If those were gambling odds, we'd have lost. So round 8 is just around the corner in July. It's one last chance for us to hopefully get a decent kart and make an impact on the podium in an A final for the first time this season. Also, after round 8 has finished, we know there'll be 3 drop rounds. So only the best 5 times, round finishes, etc. for this season are going to count towards the final championships positioning. That should drop us down into around about P5, we believe. We're currently sitting in P3, but that's only because we've done one extra session more than Alfie, as he couldn't make this session today. We've also got Jaden, who should be jumping above us once the drop rounds come in, and hopefully we can hold on to P5. But who knows, we might get kart 61 or 82 in the A final in round 8 and manage to hold on to P3 or P4 in the championships, but it's very unlikely. Now, because of issues throughout the day with kart crashes and other hold-ups and delays, etc., it's meant that the Juniors Inkart Round Championships has overrun its time slot. So those ahead, creating all that planet-destroying smoke, long may it continue. Those are the D-Max karts going out for what is most likely just a public session.
Kart's just all finishing in order of fastest to slowest, that one. That's why it's dead boring to watch. But yeah, it's a shame again that karts couldn't let you catch up with Jaden, because that would have been another good battle.
If they kept the same kart, they wouldn't have been a shot on that.
Yeah, if they'd done what they'd done in round 1 when Ruben went from the B final into the A final in the kart that you had all day and then won the A final in it, they should have done the same today and let you stay in the same kart. But if you'd had that kart for the A final 82, you'd have won that, I think. I think if anybody would have stopped you.
He'd have been on the podium, I reckon.
Nice drive, Oscar, in that one as well, man.
Yeah, just finished in order of fastest to slowest kart. It was dead boring to watch. It was just the gaps, there's nothing anybody could do about it.
I mean, to be fair, that 76 that Jess had, she drove a blinder with it, getting you home in third. And she was battling back for second, so you know it's...
Yeah, the very elite can catch up with the slow, in the slower karts, and then the slower ones in the faster karts will still fall off
the
back.
problem, but you're still facing...
You've got about 7 in Oscar's group
that are good enough, they could all win.
They all get the best kart, they'll all win in that kart, and that's frustrating.
Listen, I see it, and it's exactly the same. Like, I knew if Jess got 72, she'd win. If I knew if Freya got 72, she'd win. It's the wrong way.
It's a shame. It comes down to the karts and not the drivers.
If they took 72 and 77 out, the rest of them, not 75, not 80.
Well, in the C final, there were 3 kids out there, juniors. Yeah, they were juniors.
And they were all together in the middle of the field. If you remember, the three of them bumper to bumper battling the whole race.
Which is a great race.
And that's what you want to see, yeah. You don't want to see anybody have an advantage down the straight, or you want the advantage to show you coming, you know, cornering and the way they handle.
You want to take your hat off now, because you're going to go on the podium, aren't you?
I think he does.
You got a podium today, which is nice.
On to our juniors, where in third position was William Jenkinson. And in second place, not a million miles off the lead, was Athena Cooper. And your race winner then, by 6.9 seconds, was Oscar. Round of applause for the B final.
Oh, sorry.
So well done, guys. We'll move on to the cadets then in the A final.
You're right, dude. Yeah. Well done.